So I recently read a very enlightening piece that was titled Innovation Rates and the Demise of Humanity. As you can imagine, it was very uplifting. And the author was discussing how innovation rates per capita over time had been increasing and decreasing, and then since the 19th century, we've been facing a decrease in innovation rates per capita. And because of this and many other factors, all of humanity is going to be facing a demise in 2400 AD. I was a little skeptical, so I looked into it some more. And as you can imagine, the reasons behind this decrease in innovation rate per capita is because in the last century, we've been facing a huge increase in population. And although the instances of innovation have been increasing, those instances of innovation are in the countries that are the most developed with the slowest population rates. And the countries that don't have as much innovation are in the developed countries and are with people who don't necessarily have access to resources to be able to untap their potential for innovation. And so it led me to think, what would the world look like if we gave people these access to basic necessities? How much more innovation would we have? How much intellectual capacity would we have? How much abundant resource and strength and knowledge is lying in all of these people? As you know, the world now has a population over 7 billion people. This is a statistic you all see. And 36% of the world lacks access to basic sanitation. 20% lives in extreme poverty, and just over 11% don't have access to clean water. If you look at it compared to the entire world, it doesn't seem like that much, right? But if you take a look at it compared to the population of the United States, 300 million people, the people who don't have access to water is then 2.5 times our population. Those living in extreme poverty is 4.5 times our population. And the people who don't have access to basic sanitation is a staggering 8 times our population. So imagine everyone that you know in the United States times 8 does not have access to a toilet. These aren't just physical problems that harm our bodies and decrease mortality, or decrease life expectancy. I wish mortality. But they also decrease productivity and prevent people from contributing back to the world, especially with these much-needed innovations. You and I were fortunate enough to be raised in an environment where we didn't have to spend 4 hours a day fetching wood to cook or water to drink, and therefore we were able to focus our time and our effort on other things like education, and when I was younger it was Backstreet Boys. Besides that, we were born into the lottery that is life, and for that I'm fortunate. And also because of that, indirectly and directly, we are able to impact those around us and help the world be a better place. My brother is a software engineer and is raising a beautiful family. My mother researched a cure for Alzheimer's, and she also works in our community. And my stepfather, to this day, is a college professor in biology, so he can train the next generation of scientists and doctors. We're thriving on this platform where we can pursue joy, and we also have the time and knowledge to be able to give something back to the world. It also leads me to think what our world would look like if everyone, especially our world's youth, had these same opportunities that we did. The world's youth, it's fortunate and unfortunate. They have to bear the burden of responsibility that we're all leaving behind and that the generation ahead of us has left behind. And so our youth deserves the opportunity to be able to claim their rights to health and education. I don't know if you know this or not, but people ages 25 and under comprise over 43% of our global population. This is huge. This is our opportunity to thrive. And these are the people who are going to be our next scientists, innovators, and policymakers. These are the people who need to be given an opportunity to be a positive catalyst. It's with this motivation that Vortport International was started here in Ann Arbor 3 years ago, just a small nonprofit. And what we do is we focus on applicable technologies paired with education, training, and business solutions so that we can give people the opportunity to start their own businesses, providing basic necessities to people around the world, thereby empowering themselves and the communities around them. We took a look at issues that are facing the world. For example, indigenous deforestation in Madagascar. People need wood to cook with, so they cut down their trees. And because of this, they're relegated to move around, and they're on an island. And so the team developed a biodigester unit which takes in organic waste and converts it into methane, which can be a culturally sensitive solution so that they can use the methane from that to burn instead of wood. And we're also working with partner communities. These are students at the University of Antananarivo, which is the capital of Madagascar. And they're testing the exact same solutions on the ground so that we can make sure that these technologies work there as well. We do feasibility and field studies to try to understand the underlying reasons of a lot of social issues that are happening. This is Uganda, and here a lot of girls don't necessarily get a chance to go to school every day, or they don't get a chance to get access to healthcare. And the reason for this is transportation, long distances between things. And if a family shares one bike, the girl is the last person to get that bike. And so the team developed a bamboo bicycle, which is made out of locally, sustainably sourced bamboo to provide a more affordable solution to these communities. We also work with them to train the people there how to build them, how to maintain them, and sell them so that they themselves can be business owners. We also educate them on the importance of these issues because they are social and not just environmental. Here in India, kerosene lamps is a huge problem in terms of lighting because it's unsustainable, it's costly, and it's harmful to the body. And so the team developed a solar lamp, which is robust and waterproof and can survive the monsoon seasons. And then we work with the communities in an iterative design process so that these are perfected and we give them what they need. And so these are all small things that our group of volunteers are doing. No one is a millionaire. No one, has been working in the field for 30 years. We're taking what we know and we combine it with our passion to be able to provide people basic needs, and we work on these issues. We have a team full of engineers, public policy majors, public health analysts, financial analysts, social media experts, journalists, filmmakers, and without each other, our organization would never exist. And so I'm here telling you that I know that there are people who are of all majors interested in all different things, and it doesn't mean that just because you can't build a bicycle, I can't either, doesn't mean that there's something that you can't contribute back to the world. Before we were talking about innovation, and think about all the amazing innovations that have allowed us to be here, you sitting in these chairs, in this conditioned environment, and all the potential innovation that we could have if we allowed people who need basic necessities, and we gave those to them so that they could focus on more important issues. What would that world look like? When I was a kid, I really wanted to be the next Albert Einstein, but I'm almost 27, so that dream has started to fade, and I've come to realization that's not going to happen. But just because it's not me doesn't mean that that child does not exist somewhere out there in the world. And what if that child is in a place that doesn't have, where he or she doesn't have access to water, or need to say education? Think about all that wasted, untapped intellectual potassium capacity. These are issues that we like to focus on. And a lot of people ask me, why do you care about these people that you barely know around the world when there's so many issues here in our own backyards that we should focus on? And I believe that the issues here are important, but I also believe that competition is important. I believe that competition is important because it makes us all better, and it makes the solutions that we develop more robust. If you're thinking about, let's say, God forbid, you're in the hospital someday with a loved one and they have cancer, and they need a cure for that. You're probably not going to care where that cure came from, whether it came from someone in our own backyard or someone from across the world, just as long as that cure exists. So it's our job as people to come together as a community to help other human beings achieve their full potential, to make our world, your world, truly a better place. Thank you.